at the women's singles draw. It is Yingsha and WANG Manyu who are the two left standing. This is a repeat of the World Championships final. In fact, it's the repeat of many of this sport's biggest finals, 10 of them in fact. So it's the top two seeds still standing who will become the first ever Europe Smash champion.
At a time. Welcome to the Renaissance Arena, where legends rise and glory lives forever. This is not just table tennis. This is speed beyond sight. This is precision beyond reason. This is power beyond limits. This is the power of Europe.
Let's count it down.
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
1.
From China, WANG Manyu. From China, soon Yingsha!
Well, so often we see these two titans of table tennis going toe-to-toe to claim the sport's biggest prizes. Who will come out on top today? Will it be that woman there, the world number one, long-time world number one? She's been at the top of the standings for over 3 years now. Or will she be toppled by WANG Manyu, the world number 2, who's looking for her second Grand Smash title? Now, this pair have been in this position before. Of course, they were partners last night to claim the women's doubles prize, but this time they've gone from teammates to competitors. These head-to-head standing firmly in favour of Yingsha, world number 1, who really has swept all before her in the women's singles stage. WANG Manyu is hot on her heels, though she has got 1 win from their last 9. Will she add to that tally today? Well, it's incredible the dominance that this pair have had over this sport. We'll get into that a little bit later on, Fraser Riley, as we welcome Ingrid Bogren, our umpire, to the arena for this one. Our officials have done a wonderful job of keeping things ticking along nicely this week. Players up to the table then ahead of the coin toss.
So WANG, black to red. Red, soon, black. Red, winner on the toss. WANG, service. Service.
Well, we're used to this, aren't we, Fraser Riley, seeing this pair going head-to-head at the biggest stage and the biggest battles. And we're used to, as well, seeing them teaming up in the women's doubles. But how do they go from celebrating that doubles win last night to now vying for the biggest prize in the singles?
Well, I don't think it'll be too difficult for them here, Rebecca, because this is a major final. It's the first ever Europe Smash, the first Grand Smash event to be hosted here in this continent. And Wang Manyu will want revenge against Yingsha from the World Championships final in Doha. She's imperious, the world #1. She's ahead by about 3,000 points. She's just been so dominant, and here's her run through. She beat Hannah Goddard, who tested her at the US Smash, 3-1 this time. Yuen Jian'an, the same score. Hayata beat her for the 17th time out of 7. She beat Ito 4-1, and then Chen Yi 4-1 as well, getting her revenge from the US Smash there in that semi-final.
Yeah, she looks like she's meant business all week, hasn't she, Sun Yingsha? Because she had a disappointing run out in Vegas, but she does have 15 WTT titles to her name, including 2 this year. There's a look then at Wang Manyu going, as I said, for her second smash. She had a really strong end to 2024, winning the WTT finals in Fukuoka after taking the Champions title in Frankfurt. And there's her route through to this final. Honoka Hashimoto in the quarterfinals, that's the result that really stands out, isn't it, Fraser, given the Japanese record over the top Chinese players?
Yeah, Hashimoto, the best defender in the game, who has nearly a 90% win rate against Team China stars. Wang Manyu did what Wang Yidi couldn't do, and that was after she came back from 2-1 down against Miyu Nagasaki.
Here's a look then at the China Smash, the last time they met, and this was in the women's singles final. And we're used to, Fraser, aren't we, seeing matches between them going the distance. It's always a closely fought affair between this pair.
Yeah, they're, you know, off-the-table friends, on-the-table foes. They're so familiar with each other. They train with each other day in and day out. And like you said, Rebecca, quite a few of their meetings have gone to the decider before. Most recently at the Champions in Chongqing 2 years ago.
And the fan vote is pretty much an even split. It'll be fascinating to see who comes out at the end of this best of 7 with their hands on the trophy. Almost ready to get going here. Now, what dominance can you compare theirs to in any other sport? You know, is this along the lines of Real Madrid and Barcelona, who've dominated the Spanish league for so long at the top? Or is it a Federer and Nadal type rival with both of them pushing each other to greater heights?
First game, Wang to serve, level.
I think in terms of dominance and longevity, it's as good as it gets.
One love.
Now, in terms of a stylistic matchup between this pair, you know, we've got Wang Manyu, who seems to be more of an all-round, adaptable, strategic type player. Sun Yingsha is just so explosive, isn't she? Thriving on the pace.
Yeah, Sun Yingsha is more of a pocket rocket. She naturally has a lower center of gravity, so she can recover between strokes a little bit quicker. And I'd say that she does pack a little bit more of a punch with the forehand drive. I'd say that Wang Manyu has the stronger of the backhands, having to play more from the middle to protect a crossover section.
1-2.
Now, we saw the WTT record, 8 wins for Sun Yingsha versus 1 for Wang Manyu. But across all competitions, Sun Yingsha leads the head-to-head with 16 wins, 9 for Wang Manyu.
Beautiful forehand there from Wang Manyu on the lean. Yeah, I mean, the rivalries between these two used to be a lot closer, but now Sun Yingsha is nearing an untouchable status in the sport. 2-time world champion, 2-time Olympic finalist, of course, Sun Yingsha.
4-1.
But I think Wang Manyu has looked really, really strong here. I was amazed at how she managed to recuperate after that Hashimoto marathon to sweep Shi Sun-Yao off of her feet in 4 straight games.
It was a bruising match, wasn't it, against the Chopper? Even though she did come out with a win, but playing against a defensive player like that is physically and mentally incredibly draining, but she recovered incredibly quickly.
And Shi Sun-Yao, one of the most athletic players for Team China, someone who had defeated Kwai Man at the Champions Yokohama and, of course, defeated her here as well. Unlike the men's side, of course, the Chinese women impenetrable. All four of the semi-finalists representing this team.
That is exactly the expectation they would have had coming into this week, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And especially important for them to do well, given that they were disappointing by their standards at the last smash in Las Vegas, the US smash.
I don't know whether it was a bit of jet lag or they were struggling to get used to the playing arena, but yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of upsets, a lot of unexpected twists and turns throughout the draw.
Well, that was a brilliant forehand, wasn't it, from Wang Manyu?
So surprising that Zhu Yuling, the winner of the US smash, was eliminated in 3 straight by Odo. That kind of opened it up. Oh, wonderful. Such a zippy backhand there from Sun Yingsha off the angle. Great timing. Wang Manyu with a good spin up, but Sun all over it.
That's a great adjective, actually, for Sun Yingsha, zippy.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fitting. She's a dynamo.
Yeah, she really is. And knowing when not to attack is really important as well, even if you're a very aggressive player, because you don't want to give your opponent constant rhythm. So Sun there testing the irregular transitions, creating a few juxtapositions, slower balls, and then more power into a wider area, testing the recovery. Oh.
5-7.
And how important was it for both of these players to have a good run here in Malmö, given Sun Yingsha fell at the final hurdle in Yokohama? Wang Manyu as well, disappointing.
Yeah, very important, I'd say. You know, this is the time of the year now where we've got so many unbelievable events. Of course, we've got the Champions Macau next month as well, the China Smash in Beijing. Our electric play.
7.
I mean, in terms of qualifying for the WTT finals, which will be in Hong Kong, a smash is so important. Of course, the winner of this will take home 2,000 ranking points.
Yeah, and we can see Sun Yingsha head and shoulders above the rest. Her #1 status is absolutely secure.
Yeah, regardless of what happens here.
Well, Sun Yingsha with that backhand is just so consistent. She's fast, she's aggressive. And what is it that sets this pair apart from not just the rest of the contenders, but what is it that sets Sun Yingsha apart from Wang Manyu, who's trailing in second in the world standings?
8-7.
First and foremost, I'd say that it's the mental strength of Sun Yingsha. She's borderline unshakable, a bulletproof mindset. Secondly, I'd say that these two players are so well balanced. They have the perfect balance of each category. Of course, there's swings and roundabouts to being an attacking player. Sometimes you can't be strong at one thing without having a little bit of a weakness in another area. But for the most part, these are two right-handed attackers who are forehand orientated. And they're able to play one shot with the next in mind better than anybody else.
And I think that's even more impressive for Wang Manyu to be able to reset between shots, because she does have longer levers and it's more difficult for her to maneuver, but she does so very well indeed.
Yeah, very strong in the base. She has a wide base, which A, keeps her more balanced, and B, gets her a little bit lower as well, so her head's slightly more close to the net height. to get more awareness around that area. And despite being able to make those minor adjustments, Yingsha, so clever, using her peripheral vision, pushing out to a good opening. Watch this.
You talked about being solid in the base, and she was absolutely rooted to the spot there.
Yeah, they go through grueling gym routines, these two. You can see some of them online.
Wow, brilliantly saved the first of 2 game points.
Wang Manyu bracing for impact. Beautiful the way that she brings that right leg in to play the backhand from the middle of the table, switches into the Sha forehand. Could she save another game point here, the world number 2?
She can't. Yingsha lets out a scream of delight as she wraps up the opener, a close opener. Pushed all the way to the limit at the end, but she takes it 11 points to 9 in this best of 7.
Oh, that was surgical. An emphatic push from Yingsha. She gets the spin up that she's looking for. And an incredible backhand cross table, striking it right when the iron was hot.
Players here without their coach, they sit alone on their benches. It is 1 versus 1, and it's Yingsha who has the lead. You can hear the cries of Yingsha around the arena. She has got a legion of so many loyal fans. They travel the globe to try and catch a glimpse of her in action. Well, the Renaissance Arena sold out for today's 2 finals.
Level.
Yeah, it's the hottest ticket in town here. You would not want to miss it. Well, blinking, you'll miss it.
Yeah, it was just too good.
Just too pretty, isn't it, that forehand?
You said surgical earlier in game 1, and that's exactly the right way to describe that.
Yeah, it's just an incision, so sharp. Like a knife through butter.
Love 2.
And a great service there as well. There's no giveaway with the foremotion of the serve. It's an identical service toss to that of a short to half long serve. She's a pendulum server, Yingsha. You won't really see her using the shovel serve, or hook serve as we call it. Wang Manyu likes it, as you can see. She's trying to create some reverse spin on the ball.
1.
And she gets her first point on the board there in game number 2. You know what ultimately proved to be the difference in game number 1? Because it was tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just came down to 2 points. Just a little bit better composure from Sun. Wang Manyu was having to play catch-up for the most part, and in the end it was a weight too heavy to bear.
3-1.
Well, they were utterly imperious in their women's doubles final last night against the Korean pair, Rihana and Kim Naeung. Or the Japanese pair, rather. That was the match before that.
Yeah, Mima Haramoto and Satsuki Odo unbeaten in a few events. In fact, unbeaten since they started playing together. Wang and Sun, the first pair to beat them.
They didn't just beat them, they obliterated them.
4.
Again here, a great start from Yingsha. Try the guide flick there, puffs out her cheeks.
Manyu did brilliantly to win that point, and it was the point on the wide forehand that just shows how wide that wingspan is. She really had to stretch for it.
Yeah, she did. Big lunge. There was already quite a lot of pace on the ball, so she didn't require much backswing. Just kept the bat high, which was really important. Oh, look at this here. It kind of looks choreographed, doesn't it, from time to time?
It really does. It's a kind of rally where you just hold your breath, don't you?
And look at that for a picture there, that basically the entirety of the Chinese A team. Unbelievable. The depth that they have. The Great Wall of China. And I'll tell you what, you could see the fan base of Xia from space. Incredible how many people absolutely love her.
Yeah, how many fans did you say, or followers does she have on social media?
Oh, she's got tens of millions.
Incredible.
Wang Manyu close behind her, really. See her there, Cho Yika, Yingsha's personal coach.
Well, Wang Manyu is managing to keep pace in this one. Still on the back foot, but do you think there's a way back into it for her? It's early doors, of course, in game number 2.
Yeah, I think she just has to try to really impose herself as early on as possible. Trying to stretch Yingsha out to the wide forehand could be a great tactic, but it's tough to do that.
High 6.
You could see the beautiful balance there of Wang Manyu. It's amazing how the players recenter themselves. It's testament to incredible technique, great timing and posture. And they keep it as simple as possible. They don't overcomplicate any of their strokes. They're still in the right areas. It doesn't take them too long to wind up for a shot, to anchor a shot.
It's a very economical way of playing. There is no wasted energy anywhere.
No.
So well drilled.
The beauty lies in the simplicity, but it is so hard to get to this level of simplicity.
But that's exactly it, because you watch them and there's nothing flashy happening.
No. And that's why they're so subtle players, and that's why they're players that are so hard to read.
Beautiful backhand flick from Wang Manyu to reduce the point deficit to just a single one now. Now considered one of the older members of Team China, Wang Manyu at 26.
Yeah, that tells you how young the average age is across the team.
It's absolutely punishing strokes from Yingsha.
It's impending doom. Right into that crossover, on the lean, right off the bounce. Stunning contortion of the waist. And that was a massive point. Oh, nice brush up. Oh yeah, perfect. Pinpoint play from Wang Manyu.
That was a very confident point from the world number 2. Always had the upper hand in that rally, didn't she?
Oh, I don't know about that. Does she remain calm?
Wow, draws level at 8-all, and these are crucial points in this second game. First to 11, takes the win.
She basically put no spin on that serve at all. And the receive was popped up just enough for her to come in over it. Wasn't a long receive from Sun Yingsha. But if it's high enough, Wang has the quality to lunge in.
And she takes the lead for the first time in game number 2. Could this be the turning point?
It could be. She's really upping the ante with her backhand, Wang Manyu. Look at that. How she coils the wrist back and how she harnesses all of that energy. And then it explodes, unleashes the momentum with her. Just way too good there from Sun Yingsha, and she strolls over to the towel box.
Really feeling a bit aggrieved at giving up that long-time lead in game number 2. Snatches it right back. Well, the cry still ringing out around the Renaissance Arena. Whenever these fans can shout for their players, they do so. Utterly silent, though, during the rallies. It's game point for Sun Yingsha. Think, she says to herself. Wang Manyu, she sends that one long.
But a subtle little receive there from Sun Yingsha. She plays a quick push, but it's a push with barely any spin, and Wang Manyu brushes a ball that she really needed to try and drive forwards more on.
Sun Yingsha sneaks game number 2 as well. Wang Manyu unable to hold on to that slight advantage. Sun Yingsha, she always finds a way to get it done.
And that's going to scar Wang Manyu, that one, Rebecca, because it's another 11-9 for Sun Yingsha. So close, but so far. Touching distance for Wang and nothing to show for it.
Well, it's Sun Yingsha, who is halfway now to taking the title, wrapping up the second by the same scoreline with which she took the first. And here's what they are playing for. The first ever Europe Smash trophies proudly on display there, as well as $100,000 for the champion, $50,000 for the beaten finalist. Nice work. Well, Sun Yingsha halfway there. You can hear the crowd. Sun Yingsha, the chants must be ringing in her ears.
Well, just like the ITTF World Table Tennis Championships final in Doha this year, Sun Yingsha taking the first 2 games of the match. Remember, Wang Manyu then took the next 2, so even in this position right here, you wouldn't bet your mortgage on Sun Yingsha to continue. Wang, no doubt, will try and tighten the screw here.
That was such a dramatic final, wasn't it?
Yeah, that match point save, that lob out of nowhere that caught the edge was crazy, and Wang was leading in the decider. Sun, though, as we said before, bulletproof. So tough. In terms of WTT events, Sun Yingsha going for her 16th senior title. Wang Manyu going for her 7th.
Wang Manyu has yet to win a title this year as well, which is really quite surprising, isn't it, for the world number 2?
Yeah, a bit of a drought.
2-1.
And when you're world number 2 and can't really win an event in a year, it goes to show how strong the depth is globally. I mean, yes, all top 15, players in the world in women's singles are Asian, but
2-1.
we've seen some emerging stars from Pan America, from Africa.
And of course, the return of Ju Yuling, former world #1.
Yeah, that's a big story.
Yeah, she's announced her return with a bang, hasn't she?
2-1.
Sure, we'll be seeing her at the Champions event in Macau, our next major WTT series event.
All.
Now, what is going to be the key in game number 3 for Wang Manyu? Because that will haunt her, won't it? The end of what will be the key, rather, in number 3, because the end of game 2 will be very haunting indeed. She let that slip through her grasp.
But again, she's, you know... Oh, beautiful counter there. Turns and burns Yingsha. In the last 2 games, Wang Manyu has had a relatively slow start. She has to get a better start here. She has to get in front early.
How did she win that point?
Yeah, I know, just a great get, great read. Yingsha with an all cards on the table forehand. It was a long serve. She saw it coming. Maybe didn't plant the feet early enough. But Wang Manyu going for a more aggressive approach with a long fast serve. Looks like she's actually inviting a flick here with this one, but not prepared for the receive.
Intensity increasing now inside the Renaissance Arena.
It feels as though Wang Manyu will not be able to win this match going toe-to-toe, blow for blow against Yingsha. She's going to have to try and really invest in the spin game. She did a great job there with that forehand. Got really nice dwell, created a lot of spin. And that's going to make it harder for Yingsha to play powerfully. Although Sun's backhand has been great so far, as we've seen. There we go again.
Absolutely right on cue.
Now this is the most improved area of Sun's arsenal.
And what do you put that down to? Is that an aspect she's worked on? Is that something
massively.
she's focused on?
Yeah, definitely with Cho Yuki, lots of backhand multi-ball. Actually, he's been playing a lot of high trajectory spins to her backhand. So she was better on the quicker balls and worse against the slower balls with the backhand. But that seems counterintuitive, right? You'd think it'd be harder against the quicker balls. But slowing it down in table tennis is very effective in a match because it can make your opponent overthink. They might have a little bit too much time on their hands, and then they doubt, and then they become hesitant.
Such a mind-bending sport, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of grey area, a lot of blurred lines.
Lovely backhand flick from Wang Manyu to increase her lead to 3 now.
Yeah, that guarantees at least a 2-point cushion. Lovely flick. You can see that serve of Sun. If it was any lower, it'd be a let cord. But both of them a little bit guilty in this game of planting their feet too early after serving.
Oh, and that's a 4-point lead. This is huge for Wang Manyu. Is this repeating the pattern we've seen before?
In terms of the world final, yes, it is. That's the tactic right there. That slow, slightly high trajectory spin shot to the backhand. It's actually a protected shot from Wang Manyu because if she plays with pace when out of position, it's too easy for Yingsha to redirect.
This is the biggest advantage that either player has had in this match. A 3-point lead has been the biggest so far, and Wang Manyu has now increased that to 5. It's great entertainment, isn't it? No matter who you're supporting.
Couple of nasty backhands in there. That one right there. And Sun was just so nonchalant in blocking it back. Awesome. Sun has her where she wants her. Oh, but Wang Manyu.
5-10.
And she hands her the game points.
Sun there with a very relatable reaction. Looking down at the racket as if to say, why did you do me wrong?
She goes wide, and it's Wang Manyu who takes that game in the most dominant game so far in this match. 11 points to 5 or 6, I can't quite remember. Lost track at the end, it was so blisteringly quick. But Wang Manyu is on the scoreboard, and she more than makes up for the disappointment of letting game number 2 slip from her grasp. There we go then, confirmation of the scores, 11 points to 5. A very, very strong game from Wang Manyu. It's Sun Yingsha who's leading by 2 games to 1. Well, here's Wang Manyu's winning ball placement, the pulsating blue dots.
Yeah, you can see here most of the balls that Wang Manyu played there into that backhand half. Quite a few winners into the middle and backhand, and a few there into the forehand.
Well, let's join Adam now, who's got a pretty good view of the action.
Yeah, down here looking at Shasha after that game. She spent some time at the towel box, just sort of slowly, calmly cleaning her racket, slowly walked back to the bench. There was no rush, there was no panic. It was just sort of a breathing exercise. It was very much to herself. Wang Manyu went right back to the table, interestingly enough, and cleaned her racket for quite some time. I think both players here understand and appreciate how important every detail of traction is going to be. Not only that, at every towel break, they're looking up, at least one of the players, to really study what happened in the point before. So this is going to be tight, and it means a lot.
It absolutely does. Thank you, Adam. Looking up, of course, there is a big screen showing the action, showing the replays.
Yeah, the big jumbotron.
Wow, that is blistering pace from Wang Manyu.
And that's one you want to see twice. It was so nice. Wang Manyu unleashing here on that pivot. Obviously felt like she could impose herself more with the forehand than the backhand there. Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about imposing yourself.
One man you could only guess where that one was going to go. Oh, beautiful. The prowess of the world number 1. I'm interested to see how Sun will adapt to Wang Manyu's change in the
1-2
spin game. Will she be able to prevent Wang from trying to slow it down? Could she prevent Wang from playing those spinny balls into backhand? Will Sun perhaps invite an opening and then try and drive more? Let's see.
Well, is Wang Manyu typically a player who's a little slow to get started in matches?
I mean, I wouldn't say so. Maybe against Sun Yingsha, but isn't everybody?
I think so.
She's the world number 2 for a reason. She's a former world champion for a reason, Wang Manyu, for a very good reason. On the day she is the best in the world.
Oh, that is disappointing, isn't it, for Wang Manyu?
Yeah, she pulls on the sideburns there. Well, yeah, a bit of a break for Sun. Not an unreturnable ball, but one that definitely shook up the plan.
Well, she pushed her back into an uncomfortable position there, didn't she?
She's got an eye to kill. Her eye on the ball, her eye on Wang Manyu, stretching her, stitching her, switching her. That's a wonderful combination of shots from Sun Yingsha. Genius. When we talk about the crossover section of players, of course, that changes depending on where they are.
Wang Manyu in that point. Sun Yingsha was peppering her with pressure.
I think Wang Manyu has had a little bit more success in the longer rallies when she's played from mid-distance. So, I don't know. Inviting the longer trades against Sun is very, very dangerous. Players not looking to rally. But, that said, Wang doing quite well there.
5-3.
Clawing into that advantage. Build up by Sun Yingsha.
That was a really drastic shot there from Wang Manyu.
You can hear the level of exertion that goes into every shot, can't you?
It's amazing how quickly you can end up in a reactive state against Sun Yingsha, even when you've done nothing really wrong in the rally. Another aggressive flick from Wang Manyu. Sun serving it into a position which can make the opponent, well, hesitant usually. Should I touch it? Should I flick it? Should I return it with a forehand or a backhand?
Left.
But Wang was crystal clear there. Realised it was a float serve, an empty serve, no spin.
Left. 4-6.
It was a good adjustment there from Wang Manyu mid-rally. But in the end, nothing she could do. Sun Yingsha, I think, might have clipped the net at some point in that.
Stretches away again. 3 points in front, and this is around about the time where Wang Manyu really needs to get into gear, because things could change very quickly, couldn't they?
7-5.
Well, she apologises, that ball just clipping the top of the net that time for Wang Manyu. But nevertheless, she has eaten into that advantage of the world number one somewhat. And interestingly, we played each other at the Asian Cup in Shenzhen earlier this year, outside of WTT competition. In the final there, Wang Manyu actually won that for love.
Yeah, that's a crazy result right there for Wang Manyu. 11-5, 11-9, 11-6, 11-6. Can't imagine Sun Yingsha was fully unsung.
Like the champions in Incheon in the final there. That was a completely one-sided affair in favour of Sun Yingsha. That was full of that time. So there have been some interesting results, to say the least, between this. Interesting scorelines, certainly.
Interestingly, that result you mentioned at the Asian Cup was the only time Wang had ever beaten Sun in straight games.
7-8.
There've been a few bumps in the road for Sun Yingsha, don't get me wrong. She's not had the perfect career. Nobody has. Well, I guess it depends what way you look at it. Perfect imperfections and all that, and silver linings to certain losses.
Well, the more you play, the more chance you do have to lose.
But the more chance you have to learn.
What a way to draw level.
Yeah.
Wang Manyu is not done. She's come from 3 down to level up at 8 all. And you mentioned the resilience and the mental strength, and this is a great display of it.
That last backhand was so clever. Played it into the transition zone of Sun. And well, could she steal this game?
This serve is important for Sun Yingsha. It could earn her a game point, 2 game points.
Oh my goodness me. Oh, it caught the edge of the table. Sun with a matrix-like movement somehow managed to play a bit of a lollipop shot here. But no one's getting that one back. Maybe Simon Gozi could. We saw him yesterday return an unbelievable edge against Lin Chidong. But not there.
Well, finally poised then at 9 all at this juncture in game number 4. Serves now with the world number 2. Oh, and she's earned a game point.
9.
Well, Sun wound back on that backhand half. She looked to have actually swung a little bit early there, Sun Yingsha. Was she expecting something quicker? Potentially, but there you see the Magnus effect of the topspin, arcing and then kind of skidding.
Oh, and she goes long.
Oh,
Stomps her feet. Bit of frustration there.
Well, that's an example of what I was touching upon earlier. Playing something slower to almost taunt the opponent and say, I dare you, hit the ball hard. Do you have the minerals at this moment in time to do it? And Wang stalled. Good change of pace from Sun Yingsha.
Oh, and she goes long too.
11.
Momentum
10.
swinging back and forth, point by point between this pair. And it's a second game point now for Wang Manyu. Will she have learnt her lesson from the last one? Wow.
12, 10.
Well,
Game
what an end
1.
to game number 4. Wang Manyu reels off 2 straight games to wrap up game number 4 and level up at 2 games all in this best of 7. It was a great serve, wasn't it, Fraser?
Yeah,
Forcing Sun Yingsha into that long shot.
Yeah, it's such a handcuffing serve, that forehand shovel, and it had topspin on it. Hard to tell. Here's a look then at the race to the WTT finals, the season-ending finale in Hong Kong in December. The top 16 seeds will qualify for that one. We saw Sun Yingsha there safely in at number 1. Wang Manyu, she's in at 16. I wonder whether she'll be keen to race up through those rankings to secure her place. Still time to do it, and certainly appearing in the Europe Smash final is
a good way to go about it.
Well, that's incredible there. Pavard sneaking in, the only non-Asian player, as it stands, that would feature in the WTT finals if it happened tomorrow. Of course, still so long to go this season. Still so many great WTT series events to be played.
It is non-stop. Non-stop action and fun. Here we go then, game number 5.
Love.
Touch-to-touch rally there. It was a bit of a ticking time bomb. That one popped up, Sun span. Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, the push into the net. Gifts Wang Manyu her first point of game number 5.
All.
Beautiful, absolutely wonderful shots there on the backhand to backhand. You can see Sun is playing hers from the backhand side. Wang is playing it from middle. Tried to redirect there. Wang Manyu down the line to stretch Xia. That was a tough ball to try and do that on.
Now remember that serve that finished off game number 4 for Wang Manyu. Oh, no repeat.
2.
That one went a little bit longer. I'm not sure whether Wang Manyu intended that, but she just sniffs it out. Yingsha poaches it. And that was a really, really acute angle to play. Off of a topspin serve as well. She actually had to come around the side of the ball a little bit, Yingsha there. A, to cancel the topspin on the ball, and 2, to create a bit of side spin. So, very skillful shot.
Well, this is the biggest advantage that Yingsha has had of 3 points, but she had 3 points in game number 4. I want to lose it. Can we read too much into this lead, Fraser?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, and the forehand goes into the net. Yingsha pulling away somewhat now.
Well, I know that Wang Manyu backs her guns. She'll be disappointed that she couldn't lift that over the net.
Left 2-6.
Yingsha has done very well to reset here. It's easy to regret the fact that you could have had a 3-1 lead if not for a few errors. This is not rude upon them.
That's true. But by the same token, Wang Manyu could regret game number 2 that just slipped through her grasp as well. You have to treat each game as a completely fresh start, don't you?
Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about table tennis.
8-2.
A new point is a new opportunity.
Well, what's been the difference in this one then? Because this has been incredibly one-sided in favour of the world number 1. Wang Manyu just hasn't managed to get going.
I think Yingsha is dominating now down the mid-regions of the table. Have you noticed that we've not seen Yingsha play as many wide balls this game?
Now, is that because she knows that Wang Manyu has got the reach to get them?
Not necessarily. I just think that she knows that she can recover quicker. And she wants to harass that middle of Wang Manyu. Also, playing an angle can be a bit riskier.
3-9.
So Sun's realised that actually playing safer here is a better bet. And Wang Manyu hasn't really had anything to feed off. It's harder for Wang Manyu to spot an opening at the table. And that's pressured her to play quite powerfully, but it's become a little bit wild at times.
Left. 3-9.
Wow.
9.
Go on, Fraser, because you've got your mouth open. You want to say something about that incredible point.
It was a beautiful forehand flick from Sun Yingsha, but you can see as soon as she plays powerfully, Wang Manyu actually likes that. Tough pill to swallow for Sun, but a great shot nevertheless. And there she goes again.
Wow.
9.
So how does she contain Wang Manyu's power then?
Well, like I said, playing down the middle, but there, Wang Manyu with a really proactive step around, playing it into the deep corner where Sun wasn't. Sun was still stood centrally, put into a reactive state, and you could see there, Wang Manyu had a combination in mind, knew that it'd be tough for Sun Yingsha to play the parallel, knew that the ball would probably come back to backhand or middle, and she was there ready and waiting with the forehand.
Well, brilliant anticipation, and it's forced Sun Yingsha into the timeout, clearly feeling the heat here in game number 5. Still with a 4-point advantage, but she's had 2 points taken off her in quick succession. No coaches in the corners. So let's join Adam, who is down there on the field of play. Adam, what can you tell us?
Well, one, they both look incredibly calm and focused. They've just been very sort of in their zone. I feel like Xia doesn't seem flustered in the way she's behaving. We have to remember, though, that Wang Manyu has won the majority of their encounters games-wise in their last 2 meetings. She came into this 7-4, and in game number 5 last time, it was 12-10 for Xia. Games 5 and 6 were incredibly tight, so I think Xia knows that she can't afford to let this one get close.
And that's exactly right, isn't it? Because, of course, they train together day in, day out. They know everything about the other's game. She'll know how dangerous her opponent is. Better than anybody.
9-5.
There you go, then. Let's see how she resets after that timeout. Sun Yingsha.
It's amazing that the head-to-head is what it is in terms of WTT meetings, because of the fact that it's hard to imagine that there's any secrets here. But that goes to show that when Sun is in her flow state, she's basically uncontainable, regardless of how well her opponent knows her.
Well, she still has 4 game points remaining, but Sun Yingsha will be disappointed with that one, won't she?
Well, let's have a look here. I think she was quite surprised that Wang Manyu was able to spin with such quality, because I think the push actually had the element of surprise into the middle. It's hard to be prepared for something you don't think will come back, but Sun Yingsha here wrapping up game 5.
Well, that's what they're playing for. The women's singles trophies there ready to be claimed. Sun Yingsha has the advantage, leading by 3 games to 2, scratching ahead. Looking pensive, but she has the lead here ahead of game 6. Well, there's plenty more action on the WTT calendar to come up after this. The tour heads to Macau for the next in the Champion Series. That is happening next month, and then we head for the next Smash event to Beijing in China before the tour returns to Europe for Montpellier and Frankfurt, and then the finals, of course, in Hong Kong. So there is so much action. It is a packed calendar for these players. Well, they won't be thinking about Macau just yet. This pair will be firmly focused on the task in hand. Sun Yingsha is a game away from claiming the first ever Europe Smash singles title. The crowd willing her on, her name ringing out around the Renaissance Arena. Wang Manyu has had to come from behind to level at 2-all. She's fallen behind again. Can she make up the ground now in game number 6?
One love.
Another one bites the dust there. Sun Yingsha with that push has been excellent this match.
I mean, she's been all around excellent, but is that the standout for you?
I think that's been one of her most outstanding shots. Yeah, that push. It's so quick, so deep, so backspinny. It's amazing, the precision there. And it's actually quite a bold shot to push long. You need to cut the ball slightly, and that cutting action can be the very thing that sends the ball longer than the back line. But again, it's the timing. She harnesses the exact amount of energy required before making contact with the ball.
Let love 2. Love 3.
Well, this could be dangerous for Wang Manyu, who is calling for the timeout in the early stages of game number 6. And it's important, isn't it, Fraser, that she doesn't let this one get away from her, because Sun Yingsha made a fast start to game number 5, and then she just pulled away, didn't she? It was a moment of a brief comeback for Wang Manyu when she made 2 consecutive superb points, but she just couldn't keep pace with Sun Yingsha in game number 5. So it's crucial, isn't it, that she doesn't slip up here in 6.
Yeah, she has to come firing out of the blocks here after this timeout. Not necessarily in terms of trying to play everything powerfully. She has to just try and stall Sun Yingsha wherever possible, as difficult as that is.
Let's join Adam then, who's got some thoughts, while Wang Manyu sits with her thoughts.
Yeah, Shasha's sitting with her thoughts as well. It's so interesting to me that no matter how the scoreline changes nor the pressure changes, it's all very much routine. She seems unaffected, Shasha. Look, you wouldn't know if she was winning or losing at this moment. It seems that she's very clear on her thoughts, and again, while she takes in all the chants of her names, or her name that is, she just seems to shut out the noise. So I feel like it's 0-0 in her head. And when the spin changes, she still finds the opportunities to capitalize on big moments.
Thank you very much, Adam. Well, Wang Manyu calling for the timeout, and see how she gets on now. On resumption, it's a good serve. She's been serving very well, Wang Manyu.
Yeah, this serve really limits the options of the opponent on receive. This shovel serve from the middle and forehand that she does. Tough to power flick, tough to come around the side of the ball. It's in the middle of the table as well, so you don't know whether to receive it with the forehand or backhand from time to time. But most of them are actually topspin. And when you serve, we see it with Darko Jorgic's backhand serve from the forehand side. He loves to serve topspin quite regularly. It's very tough to flick powerfully because the ball is dipping over the net quite drastically. You can see on serve they've both been very, well, equally matched.
Yeah, Sun Yingsha is a player who prioritises speed over raw spin, and it's, I guess, the opposite for Wang Manyu.
I'm not sure. I think they're both very, very spinny players. They're both obviously 2 of the very best, so they're selective in where they spin, they're selective in where they power the ball. Because the only risk the risk that you take when attacking is that you might leave an opening, and that, you know, it might take you quite long to recover from in terms of table tennis time, which is obviously very little, but that can make a difference. But Sun's power is more imposing than Wang Manyu's overall.
Yeah, you know, she's a more compact player with that low centre of gravity, and it's somehow she just produces an awful lot of power from that, you know, small stature.
That's right. I mean, we've seen players with longer levers dominate in the women's game. You know, Ding Ning comes to mind. But Xia just seems to be built to dominate in this modern game, which is so close to the table. The modern game requiring such short, sharp, abbreviated strokes.
Well, it was around this point that she began to pull away in the last game, and Wang Manyu in danger of facing the same fate. This is a must-win for her.
Oh!
3-7.
Great response from Wang Manyu.
Well, tactically, these two have played a very, very solid match. We haven't seen as many rallies that have gone this long than what we've seen in some of their previous meetings. And that really tells you that they've both come prepared. But Sun in the lead here by 4 away. Incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Wang Manyu there with some matrix-like movement, recovering the net cord there. A bunny hop backhand. That backhand was stupendously good as well.
And it was those two successive forehands that were so eye-catching in that rally. Oh, she's frustrated, isn't she? The second seed looked as though she was generating some momentum.
Well, she'll be so desperate, the world number 2, to win her first WTT Series title of the year, but this might be a test too tough today against this same old player.
Now, this is a player who's been world number 1 for over 3 years. She's untouchable.
Yeah, 162 weeks as the world number 1, Sun Yingsha. Oh, well, Wang Manyu there trying to fake top spin with what we sometimes call a dummy backhand, but Sun unfazed. Watch this. Wang Manyu trying something different. You'll see that from Beauregard later in the men's singles final, that kind of backhand. But there, Sun Yingsha all over it like a rash.
Sun Yingsha must be sensing the title is becoming ever closer. And she brings up championship points. Yingsha wins her 4th Smash title. She won the Singapore Smash to kick off 2025, and now she has won the first ever Europe Smash, defeating her old foe, her longtime rival and her longtime friend, Wang Manyu, by 4 games to 2. How often do we see this? This pair going head-to-head, battling for the sport's biggest prizes. And once again, it is Sun Yingsha, the world number 1, who reigns supreme. She comes out on top. Congratulations indeed to Sun Yingsha, a worthy champion who allows herself a sit down and a bit of a rest after what was a brilliant, brilliant final.
There's so much respect here between Sun Yingsha and Wang Manyu. All optimism remained guarded until the match was over. What an incredible final there, Rebecca. I mean, the rest of the world, everybody else around Sun Yingsha pushing her harder and harder, squeezing tighter and tighter. But for now, she remains the world's best player, and she wins her 4th Grand Smash title.
She is a phenomenal player. She is just incredible, and I don't know what other kind of sport has seen such dominance from a single athlete like Sun Yingsha has dominated table tennis. 4 games to 2, an hour, over an hour. This pair were facing each other across the table.